back to the For the Badge podcast. It's Patrick, it's Xavier, I'm Jake, and we're talking about what else? It's the World Cup semifinals, the third place game. The For the Badge match was today. We'll definitely get into that as well, and we'll take a look ahead at tomorrow's final. It's set, guys. A little bit sad, but the final is going to be awesome. We'll go ahead and start with Argentina versus Croatia. What we think?
Oof. Man, I thought Argentina got very lucky in this game. Like, I don't want to pin it. I'm not going to pull a whole full Luca and pin it all on the refs, but I will say that they did get some favorable decisions. And I felt like those decisions led to control of the game, which once they had, there's no looking back. Croatia is about a grind. Croatia is a grind tactic, a grind team, a grind out game. Argentina put two, it's just once you start that ball rolling, Croatia might be able to pull one back. They might be able to grind you into one. They might be able to luckily get two against a team that's not expecting it. But that Argentina team came out, like I said, calls regardless. They came out doing exactly what they had to do against the Croatia squad, which is fire on all cylinders for the first 40, 50 minutes because they're going to want to take this to PKs if they can. So we gotta hit them quick, and they did do that. So I felt like Argentina Argentina should have won anyway because they set out to do the game plan, which was implemented, which was get out early, get out ahead, come out with the heat, and we knew that we knew Argentina was going to do that. Croatia knew that. They just, like I said, I don't want to pin it on the refs. I don't want to put it on the calls. I think even without the calls, Argentina still finds the W here. So
Messi still Messi's everywhere.
right, yeah, he's either going to take it from the spot or he's going to hit it from 34 out with a curler. So
Is it a pin, Patrick?
Yeah, I do. I actually think it was. And now here's why. Okay, I think there has to be punishment for how poorly of defense that was. I mean, that was just route one. He just ran right through it, and the goalie did take him out. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, "That's a pin." I mean, it's got to be. I can understand why some think it's not. You could look at it as, well, he ran into the keeper, but the keeper's in no man's land. I mean, either he takes him out or he gives up a goal. So I mean, there's a consequence to that defense. Yeah, I'm watching it and I'm like, what is that? Like, this is the World Cup. That should never. That's a World Cup semifinal at that. That should never happen. Um, so I think it was, and I will say this: I think both games played out pretty much the same. Both teams jumped on top like they needed to. They pulled those teams out, and that's how they were able to kind of let it snowball of sorts. But again, I will say this though, I have to give Argentina credit. They didn't let up. We talked about that in the first episode. Teams let up as soon as they get that goal. They didn't let up. They're coming at you. And I appreciate that. You see it all the time. It's like, okay, we got a goal. Now we got to sit back, absorb pressure. No, they're like, screw that. We're taking it. Taking it right at you. And I will also say that penalty from Messi, no doubter.
oh yeah,
Absolute no doubter.
icy veins.
He's hit all.
Yeah, for real. Like, yeah, no, he hit it.
It must be said though that some pretty shocking defending for the first and the second goal. Really, like
Mhm.
all credit to Alvarez. Don't get me wrong. Keep going. Keep on running. If the ball bounces your way, keep on going after it. But he went past three of you guys like that.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Sosa at the end of it swings out a leg.
Oh, it was a whiff.
Swing and a miss. Just absolutely doesn't even get close. That's strike three. There goes the goal. Oh man, that was bad. That one they definitely deserved to give the goal on, even though it was a just. I mean, again, the only thing you could say about Alvarez, he finished the play. He didn't stop.
Yeah, and the thing is, it'll get overlooked because it was just a simple pass. But I think that pass by Messi is one of those passes that a lot of players don't make. I mean, Croatia, they see Messi, they're going ready to take him out, and yet he
Yeah.
still completes that pass.
That
It gets
angle is right.
exactly, and I think that
And just look at the third goal.
oh yeah, that was that was ridiculous. Not the goal, but the lead up to the goal itself. I mean, that was just prime Messi. And I told you a few pods back, killer mentality. Having that killer mentality. We're seeing it with Messi. I mean, we're seeing it
Oh, he flipped the
every
switch in that
single game.
in that Netherlands game. He flipped a switch. Something clicked. Something snapped. Something lit that fire. That was the little spark he needed for the rest of the tournament in that Netherlands game. He came out. We saw a different Messi. We saw him take kind of a stand against I'm here, we're here, we are the South American team. Brazil's gone, it's us. Like look at
Mhm.
us. It's our time, it's my turn. And we saw him turn it up in that game, and he's carried it over. We talked about momentum building up into this cup. We talked about the momentum that's needed to carry you from the groups to here. Now here we are on the cusp of a final of another great World Cup, and it's just Argentina. While they might have lost that group stage game, they came out in the knockouts firing. They hit the Netherlands with a absolute left hook, and that momentum that they gained from that game, from that locker room, from that camaraderie, from the events that happened in that game, going as close as it did, having that grind, having those defensive struggles, having Van Dijk, trying to launch people across the entire stadium. That built, once they win that builds that gel that I'm worried that, maybe they have more chemistry, which
Let's
hasn't
bond over
we've
our hate for Louis Van Gaal.
maybe they have that chemistry that it takes to truly win this thing. And because they're doing it beyond themselves, they're doing it for the country, they're doing it for a player, they're doing it for a legacy, they're doing it for a lot of different reasons. Where France just wants, the I feel like France wants it for the gold. It's like,
Mhm.
hey, that's shiny, I want it. I want the accolade. I want the that's nice. We want it. Argentina doesn't have that attitude towards it or towards it the entire cup. They've been representatives,
It's a
but that's to
legacy.
be
It's
said.
legacy for them.
Exactly. Yeah, and they're chasing that. They're wanting Messi. They're wanting their guy to surpass Maradona in the
Yeah.
next. They want to ring up the ladder. They want the Messi Ronaldo debate to be decided for their man. For them all to really kind of locker room themselves together for that.
Yeah.
It really speaks volume for the player. Like I really am team Messi now in the GOAT discussion. Like, I know I hate, the era section of it. Messi will be, if he takes this home, even if even if it goes down to the, I'm
He
hoping
doesn't
it's
have
going to
to
be
kick another ball for me. Messi,
really.
Messi doesn't have to kick it. Yeah, another ball doesn't have to be kicked. As far as our era, yes, we were lucky to
Oh
have
yeah.
two of the world's
Dude,
best of
right.
all time at the same time. But
Yep.
the Messi Ronaldo argument is done and dusted,
Oh yeah, most definitely.
for sure. But I think that Messi's standard is so high.
Yeah.
What we expect from Messi is so high, is the reason that so many people are echoing what you're saying, X, about how he flipped the switch or how he's turned it on in the group stage. He's been doing this all season at Paris.
Oh yeah.
I've been saying it on the pod. We've been keeping up with the Champions League. He's been, and again, most people are going to dismiss that because it's League One, it's Paris,
It's Paris. Yeah.
and
They're supposed
they
to win their
played
meeting.
they played ammonia gel or whoever or no, that was Manchester United. Who'd they play? That Israeli team,
Makaba
Maccabi
Haifa?
Haifa in the
Oh
Champions
yeah. Haifa. They were flying
Haifa
high.
with
When
the
they
four
beat Juve.
fans that were shaking the stadium.
When
Yeah,
they beat Juve.
that
Bro.
was great.
Bro, that
But
was amazing.
Messi went there, and when Paris went down, Messi's like, no, no, and they went on to score like 6 goals or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's been doing this all season. It's just he's got such an insane standard. He's
Right.
just been so good for so long that we expect so much from him. And I think he's been at the top levels the whole tournament.
Well, you know, another thing that I think you have to take into consideration over the whole of the tournament is how does a team win? Do they win the same way every single time, or do they find different ways to win? I think this Argentina team has had to find different ways to win, which puts them in a better situation than, say, France. I mean, do we know if France can come back from 2-1? I know they've come back from 1-0, but can they come back from 2-1, 30 minutes left in the game?
I think they can.
Oh yeah,
Of
I
course.
think they can.
I mean, I think they could, most definitely.
They have the pedigree on the squad. I think it's to be said though too with this France squad. While they, like I said, I really feel like the scales, and I think this is on purpose, right? We've talked about the whole grandiose idea of this tournament, even to begin with, right? With Ronaldo and Messi being in it, it's the last final dance for our eras of the greatest players. And we've got to witness, two amazing careers coincide together for this long, and now it's come to a real figurehead. And with Messi, we knew one of them. We knew one of them was going to be here. It didn't matter. We knew one of them was going to be here. And now that Messi has come upon this stage again, I think France honestly is the perfect opponent in this situation for him to really solidify the overall I am the greatest, because look at what I just had to beat. I had to beat a prime. I don't care if he gets better. You're not telling me an 18 to 23-year-old is more physically adept than a 25 to 28-year-old. I've lived through it. I was way more, and I know them boys are, because they do it for the Olympics. The Olympic athletes are only young because they can physically push themselves without injury to a limit beyond what a more aged individual can. Kylian Mbappe isn't going to pull anything running 80 games this season. That's why Mason Mount has been able to do it for us. Those boys are young. You can put them through the ringer until you can't. Kylian can. He's 23. He's on top of the world right now. Look at who I just had to beat. Olivier Giroud, man, has a trophy from everywhere he's ever been. Look at who I had to beat. One of the best defenses in the league, per se. I hope Rafael Varane, I really hope that they get to play. I hope this whole sickness BS isn't true, because I want Messi to beat France. If he does it, I'm team France right now. They beat England. I'm going to root for the person who knocked us out. That's just my mentality of it. I want France to take it. I think Kylian going back to back, Olivier getting one back to back. I love Giroud. I want him to end his career with the utmost of accolades, so that way he's part of that discussion. There's no reason for Ibrahimovic to be on a pedestal and Olivier Giroud not to be in that discussion with him ever for me. So I want
Zlatan's having a
Messi.
discussion by himself, like over here.
Right.
He's
I
just
want
over
Messi.
here. Everyone else
He
is over
creates
here.
his own category.
Yeah,
That's how Zlatan is.
yeah.
Brian
I
sent
just
me
want.
a thing today. Brian sent me a thing today that said that when LeBron James got signed for the Lakers, he sent Zlatan a Lakers jersey for LeBron James. Zlatan signed it and sent it back to him.
I used to
Yo,
hate Zlatan, but I
no,
can't.
he's
That
my
man's just
hero.
amazing.
He's my spirit animal, man. If there is
That man's
ever somebody,
amazing.
I wish I had that moxie. That's all that is. That's not gusto. That's not pride. That's just
No, that
straight
is pride. He's better than
moxie.
everyone, and he
Nah, he's
knows.
He
moxie,
knows
man.
it. Yeah, he
He's
knows it.
got it. Yeah.
He knows it, man. Ever since he stopped playing, love him.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him. Exactly. But I truly want Messi to, if he's gonna stamp this, I don't want any excuse. I don't want Modric, hey, the refs are really bad. Don't know why we have an Argentinian ref when they're trying to make it to the final. I don't want any discussion. If we're really gonna put a stamp on this, I want it to be MJ game 6. We're not going to game 7. I'm icing this out tonight. I'm scoring 63 on you. I'm putting a stamp on it. And I hope if he does it, like I said, I want France to take this. I really do. But there's a huge part of me that the whole legacy, the soccer, the football, the world has really it's all come down to this, man, right? Like his whole career's come down to this. He got it stolen from him. Now he has a chance to get it back right before he walks out the door. He can walk out the door with it. Walk off home run. We've all dreamed about this, right? We all dreamed about it as young athletes.
He already said it's his last game.
Huh?
He already came out today and said it was his last game no matter what.
Right. I would too.
For
I
Argentina.
would too.
Right.
I would. If I win, it's my last game. Period.
Just taking off the boots, walking off with a trophy. Sorry, PSG, I'm out.
Paris can kiss it. Y'all got Neymar and Mbappe. Y'all don't need me. R.I.P. bro. I'm out. I'm taking my family. I'm taking my cup back to Argentina. I'm never gonna buy another beer
again. I'm getting on a
never
spaceship.
buying.
I'm going to Mars.
Right. I'm getting a statue made out of me out of every metal known to mankind. Bronze, silver, platinum. I don't care. It's gonna be outside. You're right.
Oh God, man.
I just really hope if he does it, I want it to be in true Messi fashion, and that's the way it needs to be. That's the way this has been written. There's a huge part of me that's really hoping that happens. There's the reality of the situation. That France team is God mode. It's God mode. It's World 11. It's the World 11. They have the best player from every country who has ever been born in a different country come play for France. There's only one French national on that squad. Like, I want y'all to know that. There's only one French national on that squad. Everyone else was born somewhere else other than France.
Look at the USA squad, man. We had a bunch of guys born out of the country.
It's just, one out of the starting 11, though, that's a little for me. But, okay.
Well, I was going to say, I saw that Sergio Aguero showed up at training yesterday for Argentina. And I'm like, oh, that's a bad omen. That's a bad omen.
Although man could score some goals.
He could.
Yeah.
But I mean, talking about Sergio Aguero, man. We all hate Sergio Aguero.
Of course.
But you're just saying that's a bad omen. One person who would actually get on this bus with you. He's not here tonight, so no, Sergio Aguero. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But no, I was just kind of going back to what X said. It's again that killer mindset. Like, here I got my chance, I go and take it. We saw it. Last World Cup, Mbappe scores. Kind of. If I remember right, he scored the first goal, right?
Yep.
He scored the first goal against Croatia in the final, and I think Griezmann added the second. But I think it's that mindset, and we talk about athletes in general, and athletes. I'm not saying none of them have that mindset, but it's taking it to that next level to say, I know I'm better than you. I'm going to prove I'm better than you and go and do it on the largest stage. And I think it's set up for Messi. Now, we can talk about corrupt FIFA. We can talk about all that. But I just I want France to win. I feel like that this is the opportunity for us to see our generation's Brazil, because just that level of talent that just keeps coming through. And I feel like this could be our generation's Brazil. But a part of me, I'm just like, man, it would be something if Messi pulled this off. I saw a YouTube or Twitter clip, I don't remember, of Argentina after they won the semifinal, and Buenos Aires. Oh my gosh.
Did you see they have 88,000 capacity in their stadium? 82,000 tickets have already been sold for tomorrow's game. They are going to pack out their home stadium the same way, and I love it. I love that. I would be there in a heartbeat.
Oh God, right in the middle of
London, the same way London did.
I would be crowd surfing around the stadium.
The same way they did in the Euro final. They are going to pack out their home stadium and just watch it on the Jumbotron and let that energy just pour straight into their
Dude, how many American stadiums would have done that? Say USA makes a World Cup final. How many football stadiums would sell?
Bro, make a pack right now, though. We have to get tickets to the Dallas final. I don't care who's in it. I don't care. It's in Dallas. It's gonna be. We could get nosebleeds and watch it on the jumbotron. The
Yeah.
finals in Dallas.
Yeah.
The finals in Dallas. The next World
Thousands
Cup.
of dollars.
We
Oh yeah, you're
have.
looking at 3 or 4,000
It's
a piece.
That's gonna
4
be a,
years.
that's gonna be a
I'll take
price.
out a whole nother credit card, max it out. I don't care. I'm going. I'll be there. I'm going to that final. I
This
don't
will be
care
a
who's in
price
it.
ticket, man. But
It
I
could be
just want to
Russia.
get.
It could be Russia versus North Korea, the two hated most countries in the world. I'm going. I'm going.
Yo, FIFA would never let that happen. FIFA would
No.
never let that happen.
No, they-
Sure
VAR,
they wouldn't.
you're
Sure
gone.
they wouldn't.
VAR, you're gone. No, he's
No, I
offsides.
want to go to at least one group stage game and at least one knockout round. I think the knockouts, one of them will be played in Atlanta.
I
I'm
wanna know
about
how much the
95% sure that they'll be played in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I
wanna know
think
how
a
much the
group
Hoppers
stage could
cost.
be. I think Nashville made the list or something like that. I have to go back and look. It was obscure. Um,
Mhm.
I'd have to go back and look though.
Well, right, because we're not building stadiums for it.
No,
We're
I'd have to go back and
playing
look. Maybe it was in Nashville. Hold on, let me
There's no
see.
way. There's no way.
World Cup stadiums
Yeah.
2026.
But to your point, I was talking to one of my friends today, and I said I didn't know it was in Dallas. Dallas is a brand new stadium, state of the art. It's going to be amazing. Have no doubt that it's going to be an awesome. I 100% would have, if I was in the organization, my vote would have gone to the Azteca.
Oh,
The
course.
World Cup final at the Azteca.
They've already had two though.
I
that's
know,
true.
I know.
Azteca's already
Okay.
had two World Cup finals.
But how
Okay.
about the Montreal Stadium that's in the side of the mountain that like has that
Oh
beautiful view?
yeah.
That
Seattle, bro. Your boys. What about Seattle Seahawks Stadium, dude?
I'm a Russell Wilson fan, not a Seattle Seahawks fan.
So okay, so let's
Just to
see.
clarify.
All right.
Just wanna.
Okay, so we've got in the U.S. the 11 are Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia,
Miami.
San Francisco, and Seattle.
How many
Canada
teams
has
are
two, Toronto and Vancouver, and Mexico has three, Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey.
Final
getting
in
about
Dallas,
this?
dude. I'm telling you,
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Dallas.
I'm going to be there. It's Dallas. I'm going to be
Nice.
there.
If it's not Dallas, what's my thing doing? If it's not Dallas, it's got to be Miami, I would think. I mean, they've redone that whole stadium just so that they could host a World Cup final.
I mean, yeah, they did the Super. I mean, Dallas built the new one for the Super Bowl like
Mhm.
2 or 3 years ago. Like,
No, it's been more than that. It's been almost 10 years now.
what did Dallas
Now,
just?
Regardless.
but I will say, SoFi in Los Angeles, that's like a 3-year-old stadium. It's the newest stadium of them all right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I wonder how much the hopper is going to be because I'm telling you, I will take out a whole nother just. It's like a student loan. I don't care. It's just a whole nother line of debt. I already told my dealership. I said if I'm here, like if I'm actually employed here, you can bank on me. I'm not going to be there that entire month. I'm gone. I'm
done with
gone. I don't care where I am, who I don't care. I'm gone. I'm going to witness this because my thing is here's my thing, right? It is so hard in the world today that we live in, that we exist in, for any of us to really hop on a plane and go to Europe.
yeah,
Like the beyond restrictions, the what's going on in the world, all that other stuff, soccer extends all this. The World Cup's proved that it is shielded from there's an entire war going on, but the World Cup's going on. So the world comes together for this. Again, it's so hard for us to like remove ourselves, go to Europe, go see a game, go see these players, go see these countries. It's here. It's going, and you get a free pass from Mexico to Canada. This is a once in a lifetime in an era. I don't care for Ronaldo. I would have loved for
once in
Ronaldo and
our
Messi's last
lifetime.
one. Right. I would have loved for Ronaldo's and Messi's last one to be here in America so I could witness it and I could travel with them and everything. Don't care. I am going to live. I am going to live through the World Cup. I am going to experience this culture beyond ourselves. I'm going to go. Like my dream is to go to Stamford Bridge, ride the subway, go to the pub at 9 a.m., go to the 11 o'clock high flight game, Arsenal v Chelsea, sit in the fifth stand, dap my boy Roman Abramovich up because he's finally allowed back in England. You know, whatever it is, that's the ideal situation for any fan, right?
Lofty dreams we're talking
Like
about.
whatever club you support, even if you're over here, that's the dream. Like we
Yeah.
get to experience that beyond the club fashion, and it's truly country. And
Yeah.
that might be one way that you might sway me from, hey, I'm an England fan. When it's here on American soil, I've always been a patriot. When it's on my soil, this is my land. This is about me. I might change this England, 3-star, the three lions, the
It's
1-star.
4
I
years
might
to
wear the
become
USA
American.
badge here, right? So
Goodness gracious.
I'm so jealous of, and I'm finally in a like we get to witness it. We're here. We're adults. We get to really incorporate this into what it really means beyond being a kid. We get to watch it on TV, and like me and Jake were talking about in text, like do you remember where you were at for certain finals, like these big moments that have happened in these clubs? Like where were you at when the Chelsea won the in Munich, that night in Munich? Where were you at? I guarantee you, if you're a Chelsea fan, you remember it. Arsenal, the invincible squad, I guarantee you, if you're an Arsenal fan, you remember exactly when you won the club, when you lifted the
When we
cup,
won the league at Tottenham.
right, when you
Oh,
won
that's
the league,
beautiful.
like. And even those FA Cup finals for you guys, like y'all are the FA Cup club. Like you can go through those. Those are scarred. It's like wearing a scar or a tattoo in your memory. Like
When we beat
it's
Hull
there.
City,
It's ingrained.
when
That
we
is
beat
something
Hull City
I
in the
owe.
FA final, dude, I was
Oh.
decked. I was in a bar, decked out,
Yeah.
a blanket tied around my neck, like I was.
See, you remember it though. Like that's exactly what I'm saying. Like I'm so glad that we get to. And we're the next ones up, right? Like this is the big thing. Like the World Cup's coming to a close. It's in Qatar. It's a great tournament, but no one had a good time. Like English fans aren't getting arrested. That's not a good time.
I
Like
know, right? Come on.
there needs to be some English people in jail
We need
and
some
whatever country
hooliganism.
we're going to. Right. No, the Brits are getting arrested. That's
They all
gotta
went to
happen.
Australia for that match.
So like it's here. We get to witness it. We get to host it. We get to be, the people who supply that energy. And
Yeah.
I have to, like, I owe it to myself. I quit playing. Like that's just one of those things that I truly feel like, as this one comes to a close, we always look to the future, into the next 4 years. What's going to happen? Who's going to be there? Thomas Muller was poised to be one of the best World Cup goal scorers ever, and Germany goes out, doesn't even get to the knockouts. So it's, anything can happen in the next 4 years. We could have the next Messi, Kylian Mbappe. It's going to be somebody else. Say Holland brings the Netherlands in, and he gets in, and he scores 13 goals in
My
the
man
group
Odegaard.
stage.
My man Odegaard plays for
Odegaard
Norway.
gets
Holland. Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
baby. So,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Like, as this comes to a close, I've actually found myself being really sad today. Like, I really did. I even texted me, or I think it was the group, because me and Jake actually don't text hardly anything outside of BS about soccer when it's not in the group. So even in the group, like we were like, oh man, it's kind of sad, right? Like it's all coming to a close. But now that and we're getting to voice it and put it all out, like there is this big, like we host the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That's so exciting for me. Like,
and it's only 3.5 years instead of 4.
Yeah, it's only 3.5, so that's plus.
Yeah, because we're in winter and they everything. Yeah, Eva, good job.
Well, another cool thing. So I mean, I love the World Cup. It is the one thing that I'm like, I mean, it's got to find a way to watch it at all times.
Right.
But the cool thing is so we get 2026 World Cup, 2028 Olympics. So I'm already like in my head, like, okay, gonna go to a group and a knockout, and then I'm gonna go to the Olympics 2 years later. Kind
Oh
of
yeah.
thing.
You can't miss those curling matches, huh?
Well, that's winter.
Oh.
We're talking about summer, bro.
Oh, it's Summer Olympics. Yes, not
Yeah,
Speaking
Winter
of,
summer.
Olympics.
did
All
you
right.
see in the
Shot
qualifying?
put in.
Did you see in the qualifying curling, completely removed from soccer? So if all of you want to just tune out real quick, yo, 0.03 millimeter. I have to send you the video. I watched it. I watched the whole thing, and it was like a good 5-minute video on curling. USA and I think it was like Australia or something got immediately in the same spot around the semicircle on the outside. So they had to bring out the measuring stick. It was 0.03. It was too close for the eye. They had to measure it with the pressure meter on how much the
Wow.
rock was leaning towards the center to get an accurate read. I'll send it to you. It's crazy. I was
That's
like, yo,
insane.
that's one of those. Did Japan cross the line to knock Germany out or not?
They
It's
need
one of those.
VAR in the curling
Yeah,
channel.
you need it. VAR.
And
Um,
listen, don't hate on curling. It's great to watch at midnight when you can't get to sleep. You sit there, you watch it for about an hour, and you're like, okay, I'm chilled out now.
Now I
Everything's
can
good.
go to sleep.
now I
Yeah.
can go to sleep.
But speaking of
But
VAR, man, they've I feel like it's gone missing
Oh,
in
it
the past
has.
games.
no
There's
one,
been no
Have
push
you
to it.
noticed that?
yeah. After
Have you
groups, they were
noticed
like,
that?
they were like, yo, no one's calling for the.
I haven't
for the
even seen them like hold the game up for very long to even do a check. Like
There was a couple today that they should have, I
the
thought.
one today, man, there was one today that was just an absolute clear and obvious as it could possibly be. It was a penalty. And they didn't even like it was
Didn't
like
even
a
look at it.
12-second. He goes, all right, you're good. That's all it was. Like, whoa, whoa. Didn't even say anything on the broadcast. There was no little graphic with the revision, nothing.
Right.
I couldn't believe it.
How do you feel about? There was a huge thing going around. I saw it on Twitter. So it's like I can't remember who shared it in the group, but there was a Twitter post and then like another Twitter post right after it. And then so I was on Twitter and I was scrolling through the. How do you feel about not having the third place game?
Oh, I
Gotta
hate
have
it.
the
Gotta have it.
have to have the third place game, man.
I think there has to, I mean, I think there has to be something for if you get to that semifinal. And I know there's a lot of situations, especially in, I mean, I think about basketball, football, all that. Eh, I still think though that when you're talking about World Cup, everything is single elimination after group.
Yeah.
It's not, and I guess football's the same way, American football. But I think that when you're talking about 4 years, if it was every year, I totally get it. Totally get it.
Yeah, if it's the UEFA, yeah, you get two. Yeah, you get a aggregate. You get two
Right.
chances, right?
Right. Right.
No
But I
third
think,
place in the UEFA, right?
yeah, I think you have to have it. I think it gives those teams that, maybe they just barely miss going to the final, and it gives them a chance to kind of finish on a high note. I mean, I think that Croatia, me and Jake were talking about before you got on, thought Croatia did what they were supposed to today,
Yeah, 100.
and they were the better team
Segues
completely.
are weird. So yeah, perfect. On to today's game. I felt the exact same way, Patrick. I felt like Croatia had a game plan. They knew Morocco wasn't really going to sit back and play this. I'm the best defense in the league. Score on me if you can. We're going to get one lucky one, and move on from there or hold it from there. Croatia came out today,
Mhm.
and Jake sent it in the group. Like they came out firing, they came out non-defensive, and both teams really kind of came out with that game plan or tactical mindset from the rip. Was we're sending it, like it's third place, we're sending it, we're going to put on a highlight reel, whoever wins. It's a coin toss right from the rip, and just let it fly. And I felt like the refs really did a good job today with letting that kind of mindset go, which was the whole thing on Twitter, which was why I asked the question to you guys. The third place game, is it more now? Is it more of a risk than it is for the reward? It's truly spectator. It's truly for the. But I do like the fact
It's
that
no more of a risk than any of the other games because it's in the middle of the
True.
season. But that's the only
True.
reason
that's
that
the
it would
only
be a
reason.
risk is
And
because
that's
it's
what
not a flipping season. But that's
that was
that
the
you can't
biggest
control
point Twitter brought up was why would you play a third place game when these guys have to go back to the Prim in 6 days?
because you're not changing the format just because of this one fluke tournament that's been crazy all the way around.
Right.
This game is unique in the world of soccer, the world of football, and the world of
Oh yeah.
sport
It's
because
hard to explain. It really is. It's hard to
no, it's
explain to
not. It's
people
a
who don't.
true 100% for the badge match because there's
Yep.
one thing to play for. You have one thing to play for, and that's pride of having your nation, your
Yeah.
flag.
Still be here. We're still here. We lost.
Yeah.
We're still here. We're the special ones.
And I was
right.
saying to
Mhm.
Patrick that I thought that, Morocco, it didn't matter what they did today. We've made history. We've shown up to the tournament. We surprised everybody. It's been awesome. I felt like Croatia more so wanted and needed to win this game to kind of be happier with the tournament because as it kind of turned out, if they would have lost this game too, I feel like they would have been like hugely disappointed.
To that, I felt like it meant more to Luka Modric to walk away with, I came in second last year. I lost the final last year. I took this club the entire way. And it's not just him. I'm not saying Luka's the heart and he is though. He's the leader. He's the Messi of Croatia. Like he is the best thing Croatia has put out in but I read an interesting statistic which I'm Mad Lewis isn't here, but the statistic read that Croatia has been a top contender since like 1950. It's like since
They haven't
their
been around.
origin of
They've only been around since
creation.
91.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
yeah,
But
and
there it is. So they've been in a top contention, third, fourth, final situation since their genesis inside the World Cup. They have always been a huge contender, but have always been looked at as just this, oh, it's Croatia. Like it's not France, it's not England, it's not Italy, it's not Germany. It's the old Czechoslovakia, like, it's those guys. Like, oh yeah, we're about to roll these guys. And Morocco really took care of that in that nuance for this tournament. And we always see one. We always see one. Last tournament in Russia in 2018, it was Croatia. It was how the heck are they in a final? Oh, France has an easy give me. Croatia should have never been here. They have an own goal, a penalty, still gave them the
Crazy
match in
fun.
a 4-2.
Crazy fun.
Right. Crazy final. Here, Croatia comes up, and I think your point is 100% here, Jake. It meant more to Croatia to win this than it did Morocco because Morocco already set out to do beyond what they even fathomed to do in this tournament. 100%.
Well, I was gonna say I saw on the broadcast today. I think Croatia finished top 4 in 98, 2018, and then 2022.
Yeah, huge
I mean,
percentage. Right.
for a country of 4 million people. I mean,
Talent, baby.
To put that in perspective, I read the other day South Carolina has 5.1 million people now.
Right.
So even smaller than South Carolina, they have the talent in that little bitty space.
I would make
top 4 in the world.
Luka Modric the milkman so fast.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's all I'm saying.
Imagine if we had to put a team, if USA had to put a team together from only South Carolina.
Oh, it'd be rough. Oh god, that'd be rough.
I think we'd be there. Me and Jake would be there. Let's go, baby.
We just send the CSU men's
CSU
team
squad. Yeah.
from 2014 to the
Hey,
CSU men's team from old 2010 to to the World Cup.
Me and Jake were discussing this before you got on. Orisic's goal, was it a goal or was it a cross that turned into a goal?
I think it's the old Ashley Cole oopsie daisy. I'm crossing it with the left boot and it ends up in the top corner. Oh yeah, 100%.
I thought it was
Ashley
a
Cole.
cross that
I
turned
see
into
what's
a
going
goal.
on FIFA. My man with the controller
He
was holding.
swivels his hips to get around the
Right, right.
ball. It's a
That's what I
shot.
get it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a shot all day. He swivels
No,
his hips
no,
to
no,
get
no, no,
around it and curls it in. It's a
no,
shot.
no, no,
I mean, I
no.
like Orsic. He destroyed Chelsea and Zagreb when we played in Croatia. I mean, I like him, but I'm telling you, I watched it. I kind of watched his face, and he's like, "Did that really
No,
just
see,
happen?"
that's
kind
what
of
got me.
thing.
When someone hits a ball to hit a goal, they walk off like, explosion in the background. I'm walking off. It's Lethal
He
Weapon
did.
6. No.
He did though. He turned and ran like, yo.
He
maybe
sold it
that
well.
was just him trying to be like, yeah, I meant to do that.
Telling you, yeah, no, my man
He
sold it.
sold it. He
My man
sold it.
sold it. Yeah, he's a closers always be closing. My man sold it.
Yeah, of course, of course. I
It
did
was
want to
great
mention,
goal.
yeah, I did want to mention the other semifinal though, and the fact that I was a bit surprised that Morocco like went for it.
Yeah.
They went for this game. I don't know if you noticed that they tried to play through the midfield, like right through them, instead of like trying to go wide or get around them. They were doing a lot of balls in between, right past Griezmann and past Fofana. And I thought they were having some success getting in between the lines, and it was really good to see because, France never put them down. They didn't put them down until right at the end, and it was just like Morocco overall this tournament. Maybe not so much today. They just looked leggy, looked tired today. But
Right.
I thought that in the semifinal, the fact that they didn't like true and out Jose Mourinho park the bus style, but they stuck to what they've done the whole tournament. They stuck to kind of the same game plan. We're not going to be awed by France, by the champions, and they had some success. Probably might have should have had a penalty, maybe could have scored in a couple other chances. I thought as well, but it was just good to see. But at the end of the day, when you look at that game as a whole, it was just a prime example of France are just too good.
Oh,
Mhm.
France are stacked.
They're
Oh
just too
yeah.
good all over the field, and it was a great game because it wasn't like France are like, oh, we're 10 times better than you, and y'all are terrible, so we're not going to show up, and we're just kind of going
Right.
to.
It's not the Prem. Yeah, no one played down.
It was a good game from both teams,
Both
and the
teams.
better team won.
Most definitely.
And as I thought, and my prediction was, I heavily sided with France on this. I thought they were going to, and I use this term, I thought they were going to dog walk Morocco. I thought they were going to take them through a stroll in the park. You are not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be here, and we're about to show you what this level is versus, oh, hey, we made it.
Yeah.
Which is how that final in 2018 looked like it was about to take place when France met Croatia. It was own goal. Griezmann hit the penalty. I think Pogba put in the next one. It was just, oh, Croatia definitely doesn't belong to be here. And then they clawed their way back to a 2-4. So on stat sheet, it looked like, okay, hey, I had a game of it.
Well, it was
Not how that game,
93rd. Their
right?
second goal was 93rd minute.
Right, not how that game really played out when we were watching it. Like I remember where I was at a bar. I was at a Portuguese bar in Connecticut watching a France v Croatia final.
That's
Getting
weird.
fed platters, family-sized platters of food because that was the Portuguese style of just steak strips and chicken. It was, again, you remember
Sounds
where you're
amazing.
at.
You
Sounds
remember
amazing.
where
Oh
you're
yeah, it
at
was
for these
awesome.
things. Yeah.
Amazing atmosphere. But again, we all showed up to that final being like, okay, France is about to just walk this one.
Yeah.
And I felt like this game was going to go the same way. I felt like France was just going to embarrass. Like that fear that all the English fans had, as I will say 100%, the fear that the English really had of this France squad, Hey, they had the ability to 6-0 us real quick today. So let's not let that happen.
Let's not let that happen.
Let's not let that happen so London doesn't really have to burn its bridges. Morocco really made a game of that. And I was proud. And again, I think that you hit the nail on the head when you said this earlier. Morocco had nothing to play for today. They proved everything they had to just by getting France a go at it. It was 1-0 to the 78th or 80th.
You know, the one thing about Morocco that I think gets overlooked is, um, what's this team look like without Ziyech? Because that's what it's looked like for the last 3 years. But defensively, they've been strong. I mean, I remember when the U.S. played them, I think it was a year ago, they hadn't given up a goal in like 4 matches, and the U.S. put 2 on them. But the other manager didn't want to bring in Ziyech. Brings them in. They made this run, and I'm not giving it all to Ziyech by any means because that was a total team effort. But it was kind of like that last piece, And I was gonna say, you were talking about teams kind of putting teams in their place. I was thinking back to what was it, the 2008 Confederations Cup where the U.S. went up 2-0 in the final, and then Brazil was like, "All right, screw that.
Why are you bringing up old stuff?
Hey, man.
Hey,
But it was a perfect
beat the golden
example.
generation of Spain in that semifinal.
I know, it was
Okay?
incredible. It was
We beat
incredible.
Spain 2-0 in that, 2-1 in that semifinal off the back of some Clint Dempsey magic, I'll have you know.
Oh, I know. I
Brazil's
know.
3-2 comeback in the second half in that final.
I know, but I'm telling you, when Brazil turned it on, they turned it on. I mean, it was just like, oh, we're up 2-0, awesome, yay! And then it was like, oh, we
Yeah,
screwed
it's
up.
when Arsenal go to the Camp Nou. Arsenal get a tie at the Emirates versus Barcelona 2-2 off the back of some Herculean heroics from Andre Arshavin. And then Messi just 4-0.
Yeah,
4-0.
sounds right. But my point being is I think that really stood out that the France. I don't want to say they struggled because they didn't, but they had to play someone else's game for a little bit, and I think that's a sign of respect. And I think Morocco really, like you said, they really had nothing to play for already. I mean, they already did it. But it kind of goes back to what are we going to see out of France tomorrow? Um, you know, they've been smashing. I mean, if you think about it, they've been smashing. They've been taking whatever they want to take. I just don't know if they do it that tomorrow.
I think they do. This Argentinian defense is not Moroccan. It's not English. They have every and you want to talk about the what did you call it, Jake? The barnstormer or the
That's the
what's your
word,
term? Yeah, the barnstormer.
man.
This is the game for it to be.
I
Because
oh
really
yeah, I could see
there
it.
isn't it, especially if this France defense is truly sick with COVID and they can't play.
just leave him
Var-
home.
Varane can't line up. Honestly, their best bet is to call Benzema, put him at left back, and shift him over a little bit, and just like play the wing.
Camavinga's going to actually play
Yeah,
left
just
back in
wait.
the World Cup final this time.
Oh man, yeah. Hey, Raheem Sterling's playing right back today in the final, guys. Don't worry about it. Graham
As
Potter.
long as
We're
it's
just gonna
not Upa
Potter this
Meccano.
situation
Anybody
together.
but Upa Meccano, and they're good.
Yeah. But I truly think this will be if it goes, if it's not 1-0, this is a 3-2, 4-3. This is a high scoring final.
Let's
I already
see.
called
Giroud's
that.
gonna put one in.
I already
see.
called that.
Mbappe's gonna put one in. Messi's putting one in. Martinez is putting one in. Like, bro, this has the potential where it's like
Altaro's
there's no
on the
defense.
bench,
There's
bro.
no defense. There's none. There's not a
Martinez
Kyle
on
Walker to
the bench.
handling Kylian Mbappe.
I think that it's going to be really interesting to see how Argentina try to deal with Griezmann. That's where the game will be won and lost.
Yeah.
I
Rice did a great
100%
job.
think that that's where the game will be won and lost. Because if they can shut Griezmann down, it'll give Messi the time and the possession
Yep.
that he needs to work his magic.
DePaul, man.
Do you think they'll approach it the same way as Croatia and just keep it real narrow and stack? They can't. They
No,
can't
I think they
because
play the
of the
V. I truly think they play the V the same way they played with against England, where they let Griezmann be the sole center here, and
No,
they
I'm talking
let
about
him have.
Argentina. I know how France are going to play. I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about Argentina. How are they going to deal with Griezmann? Because you can't play it so narrow like you did against Croatia. You'll get
No.
Well, you're gonna have to have somebody kind of shadow Griezmann if you're Argentina here, right? You have to
DePaul.
have right. When I think Patrick hit the nail on the head, DePaul's gonna have to be in his back pocket, be like, hey man, what'd you eat for lunch today? And if he can't hang with Griezmann,
It won't be
which is
DePaul though. It won't be
You don't think
DePaul.
so?
It'll be Enzo Fernandez
Think so?
then no, then France
or
will win this
Paredes.
game.
It'll be Fernandez or Paredes.
Then France will win this game.
If you go back and look at the way Argentina played and set up this tournament, DePaul and McAllister have been farther forward than Fernandez literally the whole time. So if anybody's gonna man mark Griezmann, it'll be Fernandez.
Mm.
Or if they forsake the second forward and put Paredes in the midfield, it'll be Paredes.
I truly think, and I think this is segues are weird. I truly think France takes this 2-0.
Yeah. I mean, I believe the tactical mind that I have and the soccer mind in me is like France all day.
France all
Mhm.
day.
But I want Messi to win. I
I
want
want
to
right.
you know
Right. There's a
the fan
legacy.
in me
There's the
wants to
sport, the
see Messi.
spirit. We talk about like, oh, we hit on this so much, right? Like especially when we talk about it in the Prem, when me and you first started this. We talk about this like this ideal that's posed in this, like beyond the sport, that lives beyond all of this, that encompasses all of our badges, the reason why the FA was ever even created, why football exists in England. The spirit of that has historically country, club, UEFA to World Cup, this is Messi's moment. This is the Drogba in the 92nd hitting the header against one of the best keepers there possibly will ever be in Manuel Neuer, and one of the possible best squads ever fielded on a club level in that Bayern Munich versus. It should have been Bayern Munich versus Barcelona. Golden Age versus Golden Age. We should have never been there, but we robbed it. Is this and Messi was robbed. This is the whole poetic justice of the game. Like, oh, it's just such a moment. I cannot wait for tomorrow. And it's just so huge. And you feel it and you can, God, if I was a player, I don't know how they're sleeping tonight. I truly don't. I remember sleeping in high school and waiting for these finals or these playoff games and not being able to get a good night's rest before the game, not being able to ease my mind. And it wasn't my mind, it was my body. Like, you are so in this moment. You are so in tune with this moment, and it's his. We talked about it all cup. Reach up and grab the stars. You make them what you want them. You make your own constellation. You form it in history. You write it itself. And
I
this is
want to see it,
Messi's
man.
moment to do it, dude. And it's so huge because he's going up against one of the best. And I'm glad they're there. It should be France.
Mhm.
If the fact that they didn't get to play Brazil, it should be France. Take the champions down if you want to be the champion.
I agree 100%. I've said all along that you're gonna have to beat France to win this tournament. You
Right.
think they can do it, Patrick?
I do. Even though I'm telling you, I go back and forth. I told you that earlier. Part of me is like, man, France is a wagon, like just a wagon. But then, I mean, we see Messi at this level, and it's like, how does he get stopped? Like, how do you stop that at this point? And when you've got a team that's playing for you directly, man, like,
100%.
it's okay. I'm going to use basketball term. It's sort of like Michael Jordan, right? He was playing teams that maybe collectively were better teams in terms of like stars, so to speak. But that whole team that was molded around him met his traits, his skills. That you know, they were just the pieces were right, and I feel like is it Scaloni knows Messi well enough to have built this team around him to say, all right, these are the pieces. Once we get into this position, everybody's going to rise to the moment, and as a team collectively, no one's going to be able to beat us, even if it is a freaking juggernaut. No one's going to be able to beat us, and I think that's one reason why they lost to Saudi Arabia to begin with because they came into the tournament thinking this team has been built to get to this point, and now to that point, you see it all the time. Teams repeating and whatnot. You're like, oh, they should just run through everybody, and then they don't. They have to learn how to win again.
Right.
Something happens, they have to go and learn to win again. Uh, that loss to Saudi Arabia may be that moment where things were like, okay, we're not as good as we thought. We think we have the talent to do it. Because I heard some crazy stat a while back, like before that loss to Saudi Arabia, they won like 40 matches, or they had been like 40
They were
matches
46 games unbeaten before the Saudi Arabia
unbeaten.
game.
Jesus.
Exactly. I mean, that's insane. And so, that was that wake up call. Well, from that wake up call, we've seen them win in different ways. We've seen them win with defense. We've seen them win with messy magic. We've seen them win collectively as a group. I mean, we've seen it all. I just can't get over that. I think in sport specifically, when a team learns to win in different ways, you can't beat them. You just can't.
Right. I mean, and it's perfect. Like, right, like me and Patrick, me and you are Chelsea fans. We
Yeah.
talk about the season we brought in Fernando Torres. Granted, he didn't score 50 goals for us. He scored 21. Hazard had 18. Oscar had 10. Willian had 11. Like it is not we found a way to diversify the portfolio. And that's what France really does well is diversify that portfolio. You mark Mbappe all game, you leave Kyle Walker in his back pocket, one of your best defenders, fine. Giroud's going to put one in.
Yep.
Some rando in midfield is going to put one in. It's going to happen because we
Yeah.
have the depth to do so. Argentina, and this is where like my hope versus reality really comes into the shift here with this final. I want that, and I think it should be a hashtag. If it's not, that was the Messi magic. Like, how many? I really want to see that moment. And Mario Götze robbed this man,
Mm-hmm.
robbed him, and I thought that was a glorious moment. I was actually rooting for Germany in that. I'm a European football fan. Like, I don't like, as much as Brazil likes to prove me wrong, I don't like South American soccer. I just don't. I like the European, especially if anything, I'm a Spain fan. I love the tiki taka, Xavi, Torres. Yeah, I love that. I love that game. But I think it is just, and it's encompassed this whole tournament to like this motif for us. Like we've talked about it since game one in qualifying to now. It's those moments, those iconic moments. And if Messi puts one in early, he can stun France. France knows they're going to score. That's the
Mm-hmm.
whole gist of this France squad. We're going to put some in on you. Test us. Like, we don't give it. We could have, we could have anybody in the defense. We don't care. Hugo Lloris could be starting in center back.
We can have Josh Truax in the goal.
We have Josh Truax at center back trying to play goalie.
That's a dude. That's it, Patrick. That's a guy we played keeper with.
He played keeper for us.
And he was just
horrible.
So bad.
Horrible.
It was horrible.
Josh, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. Horrible.
Yeah, hate to say it to you, bro. If you ever watch this, you were
oh man, horrible. Horrible. We all know we should have put Steve in goal. Steve, if you're ever watching this, you're the reason why. Anyway,
let's move on.
Anyway, but this Argentinian squad needs that. And that's the whole thing about this Moroccan squad, why I really didn't think they were going to show up today against Croatia. The magic, right? We're talking about luck. We're talking about that moment that can happen, the statistics, it's against all odds, it's against the ratio. Messi hits a curler outside the 18 and just top bends it and pulls a Messi, or puts it on a shoelace in the middle of the box, draws a PK. Like, those moments ever only happen so often. Like, how many times did Drogba ever hit a header in the 89th minute?
I know, right?
So
That was
it's just
insane.
how many times did Mario Götze score in the 112th minute? It's just that one time. And if Messi can do it, and I think if Messi can do it early, it's better for Argentina in the squad, and in this game particularly, to just absolutely snatch France and be like, you're going to have to change your game plan, because while you are going to score, it isn't going to be a 2-1 like we thought England could have got out of hand. This is the game where you're going to have to prove to me you can score. And because we can, because we have that striker, we have that prolific icon. And I really do, and this is the duality of it. I really hope Messi can just put himself into the stars, into the constellation, where we can see Messi 10. We'll make it work. However the stars are laid out in the sky, I guarantee you someone's going to be on Reddit or YouTube or Facebook and be like, yo, it's written. It's Messi 10 up there. Hey, use this constellation, pair it with that one, Messi 10, 2022. And it's just here for him. And I hope he can open the door and just take it home.
Well, I mean, and I agree with you 100%. But I mean, my thing is I just think that when you have a talent like Messi, and it's nothing against Mbappe, it's nothing against Neymar, it's nothing against Ronaldo. I like to call players aliens that do things like he does. Like, he's an alien.
Oh yeah.
Here's a little 5'7" guy who's shrugging
Shouldn't
people
even be
off.
playing, right?
Shouldn't even be playing, and he's a freaking alien. And we've joked about how cups were created for him and this, that, and the other. But Ballon d'Or, you see him leave Barcelona and they just go total. I mean, it just falls apart.
Dumpster Fire FC.
He is soccer. He just is. And I can't see, like you said, I can't see that happening a second time where he doesn't walk off as the winner. I just can't.
If it does, oh man, do you not understand? If this game goes like you thought Mario Götze's winning shoe to rob Messi of this iconic, hey, he's the GOAT, like, this could have been solved years ago. This would have been no question. Years ago. Here we are, still debating it. Is this man the greatest of all time? And he needs the final trophy to put it on a shelf. The man who robs him of this, and I swear, and I want this to be written, because as much as the rivalry exists between Chelsea and Arsenal, as much as the London squads hate each other, I hope Olivier Giroud hits a 89th banger of a goal scorpion kick just to rob this man of his final. Oh my goodness, you don't understand. You thought the Flying Dutchman got. I will get that scene tattooed on my back. If Olivier Giroud can rob this man, greatness meets greatness. You want to see a champion, you want to see a winner, you want to see someone who's been tested. I was the underdog the entire time, yet no one put me in the conversation. That's what I want to happen. That would be
It'd
amazing.
be beautiful. It'd be beautiful.
Beautiful.
And that's what makes soccer so grand. Because here we're talking about Messi. Oh my God, Messi, incredible superstar. But there's still a chance for somebody to steal that spotlight from him. It could be Hell, Veron plays. He hits a header in the 88th minute. I'm just saying.
No, yeah,
Here's what I say to that. I agree 100% with everything you're saying, but I will say for shame, absolute for shame to both of you. Yes, I love Olivier Giroud, but here is what makes this sport the most beautiful and the greatest in the world, and what will make tomorrow possibly the biggest, most watched event there's ever been.
yep.
We're all cheering for Leo Messi.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
The
the
kid,
world.
the kid in us, the kid that first kicked a soccer ball, that first loved the game is cheering for Leo Messi tomorrow.
Oh,
The
most
whole
definitely.
world wants to see him lift that trophy.
The
And
Ronaldo fans, right?
it's because he embodies
The game,
everything that
the
we
game.
all, and I don't care what team you support, Chelsea, Arsenal, United, City, doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter who you support, you've dreamed of tomorrow. All soccer players have at some point in their life dreamed of what's about to go down tomorrow. Even
100%.
even if it is Giroud that wins it tomorrow, they've
Oh
dreamed.
yeah, he
But
deserves it.
for Messi to win with all of this surrounding him, with everything surrounding his career, his entire life comes
Yep.
down to 190 minutes tomorrow.
Pressure creates diamonds. Is he going to be the brightest diamond
This
we've
is
ever
why
seen?
we
Most
love
definitely.
this. This is why we love this so
Oh,
much. And
absolutely.
that's why,
He would be.
yes, I think France will win, but with my entire heart, I am cheering Messi and Argentina all
100%.
way, because it's just been such a great tournament. It's been against all odds too. This tournament has been incredible. Yes, there's been loads of controversy, and the controversy will be continued to be talked about for years to come. But to see
Maradona literally punched a ball into the goal. I don't want to hear about controversy. I don't. I
yeah,
don't. I'm good.
but
Like,
to see Messi lift this cup, every single person that's ever kicked a ball, someplace in their heart, even French players, even French fans, will smile
100%.
and will be warmed by such a sight to know that the dream that
He
we
plays
all
in
had,
Paris.
the dream that we've all had is attainable, is
Absolutely.
reachable. Truly is the absolute stuff of dreams. That's why.
It is. It is. Look at the Messi story, right? Like you're like, oh man. Kid who was not supposed to even medically be able to play the sport. Barcelona supports his entire medical cost, procedures, treatment, all of it. Barcelona bets the farm on this guy, wins multiple trophies, wins multiple tournaments, has the trophy case to just absolutely solidify an entire era. Xavi and Iniesta aside, has it. Yet here this man comes, quits, goes to an Argentinian team that does not support him, is not built around him, does not fit with him, loses tournament after cup, quits the squad, rejoins the squad, then goes on, wins, still continuing to produce at Barcelona, goes to PSG. He'll win at PSG. The only thing that's secluding PSG, which I don't think they'll ever get, just like Pep, I think they're cursed. They won't win a UEFA. Won't happen.
Yeah,
Won't happen.
I agree.
Anyway,
We'll get there. We'll get
we'll
there.
get there. We'll get there. But I do think this Messi saga, it is the ultimate, and that's just it, right? We've seen this written in books and in movies. We've watched it, we've lived it, we've wanted it, we've learned it, we've sung songs about it. It is the moment. And that's just it. It's the all encapsulating whole motif about the tournament that we've talked about. It is these moments that truly define this era of the game. and we can truly put it to rest here. We can let these new guys be new. If Messi walks away with this gold, we can all have this closure to it. Our era of the game can have this closure to it. If Messi, it should have been. I would have loved to see Ronaldo v Messi here. I really would have. But since Messi's here, the world's with Messi. Had it been Ronaldo, I think the world would have been with Ronaldo. Someone has to end this. We're tired of especially in America, right? We always debate on who's the greatest.
I disagree with that. You said the world would still be with Messi.
The world would be with Messi. You know what? Speaking of Messi, Ronaldo, I saw a stat earlier today on Twitter. Something about that since 2008, I think it was, without penalties or I can't remember what the other type was, but I think it was without penalty goals. Messi's and it was assists and goals. Messi's at 526 and Ronaldo's at 408.
Dang. Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is okay. But to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, X, we question, about moments and whatnot. And that's kind of what my whole point has been about building up to this point.
Yeah.
The moment's not too big for those type of guys.
No.
That moment is what they work for all the time.
Right.
Again, I'm going to use Michael Jordan because to me, he's the ultimate killer. He wanted to eat your heart out on the freaking court. He didn't care. But Michael Jordan was the type that was like, okay, I need to go score 60. I'll go score 60. That's nothing for me. Oh, I need to hit a shot to win the game. That's nothing for me. But you practice to that moment. Yeah, you might miss it along the way. And we can talk about Messi's misses, hey, he didn't win it in Brazil, which, by the way, I was pulling for Argentina because I just wanted to see Brazil burn. That would have been amazing. I'm sorry. I mean, come on, think about it.
That would have been nuts.
Argentina winning the World Cup and the Maracanã. I mean, come on. The whole country of Brazil would have burnt to the ground. Sorry, rainforest. But my point being is Kylian Mbappe is going to be Kylian Mbappe tomorrow, Monday, whether he wins or loses. He's going to have another chance. He's already got his, but he's going to have more chances to keep going up. This is it for Messi. This is literally his life. And I think when you think about it in that sense, I can't see him losing. I just can't. In my heart, it's or my head, it's okay, France 3-1. Just France 3-1. But when I take into consideration just that will, that drive, that monster inside of him, I can't see him walking off that field without 2 goals and winning it. I just can't.
If you were here's my biggest thing. And as a player lined up against, I remember there were a few games where I talked to Jake playing for CSU, where I would walk up to him and be like, this guy's faster than me. I'm going to struggle today. Because that was my game. I was supposed to beat the wing. I was supposed to be faster than the guy, cross it in, put the ball in the middle, put the ball back in play. Just be the flyer. Does this moment in Messi's, they know France knows that. Every player who is on that squad, everybody who's going to bed right now, they know that. They know what this moment means to him. The flip side of that coin is, how much of a killer are you on this France squad to be, I'm going to deny this man the world. I'm going to deny this man the world, the whole country of Argentina, and the historical precedent that's been set around this moment. Are we going to be the ones to say, no, we're going back to back, and no one's going to stop us because we are that good? This is our moment. I don't care about Messi. Mbappe is the best. Uh, Giroud's the best. We have the best squad. We don't even need them. Griezmann's the best. We are the best. We are mean more than what this means to Messi. Because you're right, Patrick, and I really worry about the mindset these France players are going to come into tomorrow with. We got ours. A lot of these players were on the same squad. They already have this trophy in their case. How much does it mean to have two of them versus I have worked my entire life to this moment and it got robbed of me, and I will give every fire. And we saw it, right? The whole thing, and it broke me. I felt so bad for him when Ronaldo's walking down that tunnel and losing his absolute mind. He has lost his composure. We don't see that from greats. We don't see that from people who meet this moment head on. They don't lose their composure. They lose with greatness. When it's your last chance at greatness, as Ronaldo knows this is, as Ronaldo came to this tournament trashing every bridge, burning it all, this is my final swan song. When you see him break down in that tunnel walking away from the game, do we get to see this twice in Qatar? Do we get to see both of our legends go down walking out of this tunnel with tears in their eyes because they didn't arise to the occasion? That's
I think that Messi can rise to the occasion, and I think that there isn't even an inkling close to a bit of a even notion of an even ounce of a shred of a it's Messi, we're scared. No,
No, I
no.
don't think it's
They
that at
want
all.
they want to repeat. They could care less if they're playing Jesus tomorrow.
Right,
They want to
exactly.
repeat. They do not care who it is. They're gonna
But
come. They're gonna smash because that's what they do.
but
We want to be champions. It's
but
not
think about
anything
this.
else.
Think about this. We just
Nothing.
talked about Griezmann. We just talked about Mbappe. What do they both have in common?
They're young. They're
No,
fast.
they've been second fiddle to Messi at the club
Yeah.
level on their
Fact.
club
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
Yo, we made this man. This
Is
man
Mbappe
ain't ish
really
without
second
us.
fiddle though?
We
Well,
made
but
this
no,
man.
but think about how PSG plays now with Messi. Look at what Mbappe's allowed to do now because of he's got Messi getting him the ball. And I'm not saying that Mbappe in France is second fiddle, but if you look at it on a world stage, it's Messi's
Oh,
team
Messi's
with
selling more
Mbappe.
jerseys. Yeah, Messi's selling more jerseys. I guarantee you, his fans are stacked way more than with Messi
But my
jerseys.
point being is we were talking about, who has that mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna stop him. I'm gonna be better than him that day. Those two right there can be it. Because they've had to be the guys that were like, it's Messi and Mbappe. It's Messi and
Uh,
Griezmann.
yeah, right, right.
Well, I think we could definitely run in circles round and round
Oh
and
yeah.
round. Uh, but we won't have to because
No,
we're about 10 hours out from
super excited for this
Oh
final.
yeah.
Oh my
this
It's gonna
god.
be
wonderful, like you
insane.
say, it's been moments, and this World Cup moment is coming to a close. A little bit bittersweet, but it's going to be an absolute wonderful game tomorrow. Definitely going to be one to remember, and I hope this episode has been one to remember for you. Again, I'm Jake. It's Patrick. It's X. Thanks for listening. This has been the For the Badge podcast. Have a good night.